All right, guys, welcome back to Rob's Arcade. Let's make this official. Rob's Arcade.
Where the games get played and the games get saved so they can be played on another day. Rob's Arcade.
That's a beautiful singing voice of Buck Martin there. Buck, I'm going to be hitting you up later on this afternoon, dude, to play some video games. But right now, it's time for New Game Thursday. We're following up here with a look at this new release, Sonic the Hedgehog Collections. Right now we're looking at Sega CD's Sonic CD. It's probably one of my favorite games growing up as a kid. This game has like remastered versions of the original title, Sonic 2, Sonic CD, and I believe Sonic and Knuckles. I used to spend just about every Saturday, Sunday, and afternoon once I got home from school playing this title. Part of the reason why, as I mentioned in the first part, is that what set this Sonic title, aside from the original, was not only, of course, improved color and graphics and sound, but the massive levels that this game contained. As I mentioned again in the first part, the original Sonic was more straight-through platformer, much like Mario, in terms of just navigating from the left to the right side of the screen, trying to avoid your enemies. And it had much more of like a linear feel. Sonic CD, as well as Sonic 2, when that was introduced, opened up the levels to allow the game player to play the same level, but never play the same level the same way twice. With all the different areas on the map go up and down. As well as the fact that this game also introduces time travel, so you can not only save the day in the present, but save the day in the past, as well as saving the future. Oh no! Oh, whew. Talk about just at the nick of time. That literally, I did not think I was going to make it. Yeah, but you could literally play the same zones over and over again and never quite play the same game. You could play the future, you can go in the past. And really explore a multitude of areas in this game. So this is one of those games that it was a lot of fun to play for the first time, and then it was a lot of fun to go back and replay because, like I said, you could, see what's at the top of the map, see what's at the bottom of the map, and find new areas and hidden. I just found a hidden area just playing a moment ago. At the top of the map, there's like a whole little area you could walk through, avoiding like all the enemies. Of course, you're avoiding all the rings and stuff too, but you're not. There we go. You're not at risk of damage from enemies. So you want to stay off the water because that takes away more time, as the rules apply in real life. That's why when you're at the beach, the day just goes by so quickly, because if you touch water, time speeds up. These are some weird bonus levels, man. I don't really quite get them. Totally missed that. Flying through the air, don't know how. Oh, too much water. Yeah, if you want to see Special Zone greatness, please go back and watch the first part of this video. If you haven't watched the first part, yeah, please stop this, go back, watch the first part, come back. I've shared the story of how I got my Sega Genesis many times. In fact, I was just sharing it yesterday. My mom's friend's young son, one of my new subscribers, Ultra Gamer. But the Sega wasn't something I like asked for, look, you know, to get. It was just something my dad had heard was out and decided to pick up for me. Just a really cool, no reason, no rhyme or reason. Just, you know, one Friday night, just picked it up for my sister and I. But the Sega CD was like the first system that I really wanted. You know, I was mentioning this yesterday too, that you know, I think everybody just had a Nintendo. You never really asked for a Nintendo. You know, I think some kids asked for one, they wanted one. But the Nintendo was just something that was out. I just felt like, you know, people had one, you know. All my friends had one. But not many people had the, you know, the Sega Genesis. And there's that commercial where, you know, all the kids show up at the front doors, like one kid at first, and then another kid shows up. I heard Timmy got the Sega Genesis. Next thing you know, the whole neighborhood's standing in the front yard. And it was very much like that when I got the Sega Genesis, and I loved it. But like I said, it wasn't something that I was like, oh man, I have to have this. But once I found out that a Sega CD was coming out, that was a system that I do remember asking for, like begging for Christmas. And it was a weird system. It like fit on the Sega Genesis itself. What? Oh no. But it was a weird system because it fit like on the Sega Genesis and stuff. I guess because it needed the control ports. It didn't have any control ports. There's two versions of the Sega Genesis as well. There was the original, just bigger, both top loader machines, but the switches were a little bit different. There was like a headphone jack in the original with a volume knob. As well as like a push button reset button. It was kind of weirdly designed. The second version was much smaller, more compact. All of the buttons were push button functions. There was no like slider switch for the power. They got rid of the headphone jack as well as the headphone volume switch. It was just sleeker. It was meant to look, you know, sleeker, more futuristic, and not take up too much room. I guess on your entertainment console, because the first Sega Genesis was kind of a bulky machine. The original Sega Genesis, the Sega CD, loaded on the bottom. They kind of slid into each other, making one system. It was very wide already, and then with the added... What is going on? Why is the stage killing me? This one is tearing me up. Then with the added height of the Sega CD on top, it looked like a little small stereo. Like it really did. It took up a lot of room for one little system. It had, you know, the two power cords, so you got to think about like when you're hooking it up in your room, you needed a power cord or an outlet for the Sega Genesis power cord, an outlet for the Sega CD, as well as one for your TV as well. And I don't know if you guys remember, but the power cords plugs were never small for like any of the video game systems back in the day. Like now they're kind of smaller. There's like the regular power cords you have for your TV and stuff like that. But back in the day, these things were like, oh no, little boxes. And you couldn't plug two of them in at the same time. You know, you would have to get like a power strip cord from Walmart or something to plug into your wall, or have them plugged into like, you know, different outlets, like extension cords or something. It wasn't easy. And I had a lot going on in my room, so I think I did have one of those like long power strips because of the Sega CD having such great sound. Like, I mean, you listen to some of this music, you know, that la da 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 da, it's just great. Great stuff. And so, the Sega CD not only had ports for the connection to like a power source, but it had the audio connections in the back as well. So you could connect that to a stereo, which I did. And I had some really cool speakers from Radio Shack. If you don't know what that is, that's where I think Bob worked in Stranger Things. It's a real place, not just science fiction. We had some really big, bulky speakers mounted up on the wall. And would play these games with great CD quality, sound coming through in stereo. And everything now is like 5.1 surround sound. But, oh, this is a fun boss level. Get to hear that amazing laugh again. Get some bubbles going on there while avoiding these guys. Bubbles will give you air. Oh no. Sonic loses his speed in the water. But he's still quite agile. Yeah, the music is just so cool. The Sega CD also allowed you to play like music CDs, like a stereo. So that was kind of fun too, being able to have my stereo hooked up in my room and listen to like my Pearl Jam and everything through my Sega CD and having it come through on those big loudspeakers. It was really cool. But this game, Sonic the CD, the game's actual disc itself, you could put in your CD player and listen to the music. Not all of them would allow that. There were some games where if you put the CD in, or the game disc into a CD player, it would allow you to listen to the music from the game. Digital Pictures is very strange. It's a very strange game company, I suppose, because they were using live action digital capture video as opposed to computer graphics for their video games. But when you put their game disc into a CD player, it had this really weird message where the phone would ring and then somebody would answer, and there was almost like this alien language. It was really cool because I first found it on the game Ground Zero Texas, which there's a new game Friday for that title. If you want to go back and get some more cool Sega stories and Sega CD action. But Ground Zero Texas was a game I played growing up, and you know, I tested it with every game I bought and rented to see what would play when I put the disc in a CD player. And like I said, sometimes you would get like a chance to listen to the music, and then sometimes it would just be like this, you know, Digital Pictures would just do this weird message. And like I said, I first found it on Ground Zero Texas, which is a game where you're battling aliens. So when I first heard it, I was like, oh wow, that's kind of cool, because it sounds like there's aliens calling Digital Pictures, who make the game, and it just kind of added a level of realness to the game. I mean, you already felt like you were living in the world of Ground Zero Texas, and you were part of the team and part of that response team hunting down the aliens. And then to add that recording just made it seem like it was all that more real. Like, oh, this is, you know, it was just so cool. In fact, let me see if I can find the recording. I'm actually going to pause this for 1 second here. And go to YouTube. And speaking of YouTube, check out The Angry Gamer. He does a great review on video game magazines of like the 90s. And it's really interesting to see how we got the information back in the day, because like I said, Sega CD was one of the first video games systems that I wanted. And so you know, when I would read about it in the video game magazines and stuff, I was like really excited that it was coming out. And you know, nowadays like everything's available like on the internet, so like if anything's coming out, if there's like a new game, you kind of oh, that's interesting. This kid's using a PlayStation to play his Sega CD games audio. That's hilarious. So like I said, nowadays you kind of like you know what the first titles of the system are going to be, what the first concepts are going to look like. You know, like I said, back in the day when I got a Sega Genesis, I didn't even know it was a thing. I didn't even know there was one. And then, you know, here we go. Here's the message. This is.
Good afternoon, Digital Pictures.
Yeah, just really bizarre. Little message there, but yeah. So, this being like the first system. Oh, I didn't finish talking about. Okay, so yeah, there was like a weird top loader. It looked like a little stereo in my room, which is, like I said, pretty cool because it played all my stereo for my music anyway, my Pearl Jam and Wu-Tang CDs and stuff. So loud. Oh my gosh, it was like rattling the walls. It was amazing. The second one, the second Sega Genesis, because it was smaller and sleeker, they didn't like rest on top of one another. They were like a side-by-side unit, which is pretty cool. But again, it still took up like a lot of space lengthwise. It wasn't very tall, so you could probably like put it on top of a VCR or on top of your stereo, and it wouldn't take up as much room height-wise. But it was just a long system. And then again, you know, you needed the 3 outlets to plug everything up. Nowadays, they would just, you know, create a whole new system, new controllers and everything. But this was an idea like just taking the existing Sega Genesis and adding on to it. And a lot of systems back in the day, even like the GameCube, the original Nintendo, PlayStation, all have like, if you look on the bottom, they all have like these little ports and these little hidden areas where you push in the little clip, the little cover slides off, and you've got like all these little ports and openings where you can hook them up to computers and different things. And that was kind of how they worked. You know, you pulled a little side cover off of the Sega Genesis, and that would expose a little connector area where you know, slide the two together. So it's kind of like they'd kind of planned on utilizing the Sega Genesis as a mother base, or like a starting point for an upgraded unit, upgraded system, which was kind of cool too, because you know, you think about it, it's like, oh, you can have like a Sega Genesis, which like I said, not a lot of my friends had, which is a fun system, going from the Nintendo's 8 bits to the Sega Genesis 16. Then you could, you know, take your Sega a step further and add the Sega Genesis onto it, and you know, have this whole new advanced gaming system. So it was kind of a weird idea for today, but for its time, it's a very revolutionary idea, you know. But yeah, I just remember looking at video game magazines and just really wanting this thing. Super excited about the graphics and, um, you know, everything's kind of like, you know, for a while it was just like, kind of like Mario and the 64. It was just like, you know, Mario 64 and Donkey Kong 64. Just like a lot of like, you know, Sonic CD, CD releases of like, you know, a lot of their already existing games on the Sega. But then they you know, did have some really cool titles. And like I said, the digital pictures aspect was really neat. There was a title called Night Trap that I wanted, that I have played recently. Very much the same way I'm able to play these games here on my PlayStation. I wasn't allowed to play it as a kid, but I think that was the game that kind of started the whole idea. I think it was something that was supposed to be played on your VCR, and or no, maybe it was like a new video game system that operated very much like a VCR. You kind of like chose the action that was pre-recorded on this cassette. I think the system wound up getting scrapped, but you know, they were left with this digital pictures company and this technology to make these games, and so Sega CD came along and, you know, picked up digital pictures and you know, released their games that were going to be released on this whole other system. I think it operated with very much like a controller like you would have for your VCR and all of that. But there was a lot of cool, fun games available on the Sega CD. It was a really fun unit. Remember a lot of games I probably shouldn't have been playing. Lethal Enforcers, it came with like a handgun, which is pretty crazy. And it wasn't just like a laser pistol like Nintendo released. This looked like a revolver, like it was a baby blue gun, but it looked exactly like a Magnum revolver. And I just remember, like, you know, pointing that at the screen and blowing bad guys away. It was pretty violent game, but it was one of my favorites. Yeah, I think that some of the digital pictures and then like the make your own music video stuff was a lot of fun. But yeah, I mean, this was just a Sonic CD was just a title I constantly came back to. The music here. I mean, it's just absolutely amazing. Solving these little puzzles. Just gotta wait for this thing to come back down. Maybe take the... Oh no! Oh, here we go. Wait, let this in. Yeah, this guitar riff, man. Listen to that. Oh, come on. I'm getting kind of frustrated. I'm missing these jumps, but guitar riffs are sweet, man. Hoping what I'm trying to do is maybe jump. Oh man, it won't let you. I want to jump maybe to the left. Past all this stuff to the right, past all this stuff here. Oh man. Oh well, guys. That is the timer telling me to wrap this up. I hope you guys have enjoyed just me talking about Sonic and Sega CD and just, you know, some of the memories I have. I remember actually... Oh, what is that all about? You're kidding me, right? I made it. What a rip. I remember actually being home. I think I had broken my leg and I was out of school. And I remember just being home and getting homeschooled and my friends hanging out in my room while I was getting homeschooled, playing my Sega CD and blasting the video game sounds through the living room, and the teacher being like, you know, distracted by the Sega CD. So there we go. That's what I wanted to do, man. Jeez. Alright guys, well like I said, I hope you guys have enjoyed hanging out, just listening to me talk. I'm going to review the other the games on this. Actually, before, let's do this. Let's head back to the main menu here real quick, because I want to see. They got an anniversary mode. Oh, that's kind of cool. Well, anyway, guys, I'm going to come back and review the other Sonic titles, the original Sonic as well as Sonic 2, at a later date for a later New Game Friday. But until I do, thanks so much for hanging out, guys. Please like this video. Please comment. Let me know what you think. Please share. Please subscribe. Thank you so much for hanging out. Remember, this isn't goodbye, simply to be continued. And until next time, don't spend your quarter anywhere else. Thanks for hanging out, guys.